All right. Welcome, everyone. We are here. It is your girl, Nina Uguomo, with the Student Dream, where we are building Black wealth one student at a time. You all know that most students struggle with money, so we are here to help the everyday Black college student, Latino college student, tribal college student build their Black wealth. And I'm really excited for everybody to be here today. What's going on? We have a special guest, one of the newest team members here at Student Dream, a really dope man who has been in the world of finance, real estate investing, former athlete. Mr. Martin Hunter is here. He's one of our newest financial coaches. So Martin, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having
And
me.
yeah,
I'm
and
happy to be a part of this. I'm honored to be a part of it.
man, it's a joy. I'm elated to have you here. So thank you. And I want before we kick things off, I wanted to just give you a chance to introduce yourself, right? So if you can share just who you are, where you're from, and like a bit about your background when it comes to winning with money.
Um,
Because you
well,
are a
I
winner. That's one thing. That's one thing I'll let out the bag.
oh, it's hilarious. No, I appreciate the kind compliments, but I'm still figuring it out like everybody else, still learning, still absorbing,
Yeah.
and doing what I can to get to where I want to go. But anyway, yeah, my name is Martin Hunter. I'm from Chicago. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. Not sure how familiar everybody is, the audience is with the city of Chicago, but I grew up in a very underserved and underprivileged neighborhood on the west side of Chicago called Austin, the Austin
Mm.
area. So definitely rough area to grow up. Come from a single parent household, strong mother of two. I'm an older sibling, just by a year. So my sister and I are really close in age. But I'm a beneficiary of programs and strong support.
Yeah.
Thankfully good parenting, and not that everything was perfect. Obviously, growing up in West Side Chicago, but I've had really good opportunities. That I've just simply taken advantage of. I was not a straight A student. I'm no different than anybody else in the classroom. But look, I do have the ability to put my head down, get the job done, work as hard as I need to,
Oh, that's a fact.
work smart and hard. But anyway, I went to the University of Illinois Chicago. I was a D1 athlete, ran track there.
Ooh, say that one more time.
Um,
Slow down, slow down. You were a
I
what athlete? A what athlete?
was a D1 athlete, Division One
D1.
athlete.
Whew.
Um, yeah, so track and field was a big passion of mine growing up, particularly in high school and in college. Part of the reason why is because I went to this very well, like privileged white high school, private school in the suburbs of Chicago, where I had to commute 2 hours a day. Woke up at 5 a.m. Took two trains and a bus to get there.
Wow.
I was fortunate to go to school through a couple scholarships. But anyway, so track was my way of like, just taking off the mask and just, being myself. And it turned into, a passion of mine. And thankfully, I was able to be good enough to be competitive at the D1
And so
level.
you had
But
no student debt, I'm assuming.
actually, no, I had to walk on to
Okay, okay.
my, yeah. So I had to kind of work my way to earn a partial scholarship. But not that having student debt can be the worst thing in the world if you operate the right way. Post college or new in college, you can definitely like make decisions
Yes.
to set yourself up to be able to alleviate, the interest you pay on your student loans. But I'm not a financial advisor. But
This is not
the,
financial information. We got the
yeah,
disclaimer
no,
out.
yeah, but there's ways to work around
Yeah.
different
All right,
aspects
that's good.
of debt. But anyway,
That's good. And I
but
want I
yeah.
want to specifically keep you on track with this. Tell me about what you do right now, because you
Uh,
are cat's out the bag, y'all. This man's in finance and he's a real estate investor. Just to let y'all know, let you know, Dara, Darrell, like this dude is in finance and a real estate investor. So yes, he works at a very big, prestigious financial firm, and I will keep it at that. And but so let's talk more about your real estate investing real quick. Can you share just a quick, like 1 minute summary of your career as a real estate investor?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily classify myself as a real estate investor. I think that, you
But
know,
you
I'm definitely,
are, but
but
you are.
do I own real estate? I do. But you know,
And are you
I
making investment money off of it? Yes, you are.
Uh, well, you know, it's definitely a fight. It's definitely a fight. But yeah, thankfully, like I was able to make an investment, that is setting me up for, for my future and my future family. Yes, I do own a building. I am a landlord.
Ooh.
So that's something I do outside of work, which I'm very, very thankful for. But it's a lot of hard work and still a work
Yeah.
in progress. So I wouldn't necessarily technically classify myself as a real estate investor at the scale in which I'd like to yet. But that's something that we're at the beginning stages of. And I'm really grateful to be in a position to do that.
Yes. Come on.
But there's many different ways of investing. There's many different ways to skin a cat. Going this route for me was what I felt like made the most sense. So I think you should
I
invest in
love
what you
it.
believe in and what you know. So real estate just so happened to be an area of interest for me, and that's the direction I decided to learn about. Utilize my network around, and thankfully I was able to make my first my first move of many. But it's something that's under the works,
I love
and
it.
it's still,
He's
but
he's downplaying his accomplishments. I won't shame you for it, but I will
no,
tell the
no,
truth. And
no, I
so
appreciate it.
so so with
Um,
with that said, we're going to jump into our topic of discussion for today, which is budgeting. Right? So these last few sessions we've been talking about what does it look like to have money goals? How do you create a money
mm,
goal um, that actually will get you to the goals that you have? And a core part of that was having a budget, right? So it may sound simple, but people in their 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s do not know how to budget. And that
mm,
means there are hundreds of thousands of millions of people around the world who have these big financial dreams, but don't hit them because they're not budgeting, right? Budgeting is, I'm a former athlete. I played basketball. Martin's a former athlete. He did track. You got to know your numbers, right? I best believe I knew how many points per game I had, how many rebounds, assists, steals I had. But then I also had a whole workout plan I had to track what was happening and when it was going to happen. Right. In the same sense, Martin had to do the same thing. You got to know your time. You got to know how many times you got to do the 100 meters, 400 meters, your sprints, your workouts in order to perform well. And your budget is literally your game plan. It is your playbook, your game plan to win with money in the way you want to win. If you do not have a game plan, you are going to lose and you're going to lose every single time. But here at Student Dream, we want you to win, right? So, Daryl, we want you to win, right? All of y'all who are watching, we want you to win. And if you want to win, you have to have a budget. Okay. And so I want to hear from you first. Like, do you have a budget and have you ever had a budget? And so, Daryl, if you can just briefly introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, what you studied, and what your student dream is. Go.
Hi, my name is Darrell Stevens. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm majoring in criminal justice. I finished my degree this month, the end of this month. And my student dream is to be able to find a career path in the criminal justice field.
All right, let's go. I love it. So we got that. And so talk to me, Daryl, Mr. Man who's in a criminal justice field. And have you specified what area of criminal justice you want to be in? Do you want to be an attorney? Do you want
Law
to be
enforcement.
law enforcement? Okay. Officer, Detective Darrow. All right. So Detective Darrow, I want you to also answer the question, have you ever created a budget?
No.
All right. All right. So let's go. Well, there's what we're gonna do. Can you talk to me about any, do you have any idea what a budget is? If you were to explain what a budget is to a first grader, what would you say?
It's a plan to be able to branch out the money that you have as far as like savings and what you're gonna spend.
Okay, that's part of it. That's part of it. And bear with me as I walk to another meeting. So that's later. So it's partly saving out what you're going to spend. But remember, in last session, we talked about how there are 5 things you can do with your money, right? You can, so at Student Dream, the way we define wealth is earning and saving more than you spend with joy, integrity, and generosity, right? So wealth at Student Dream, it's bigger than money, but it's holistic, right? So wealth at Student Dream is earning and saving more than you spend with joy, integrity, and generosity. Okay, so that means in our budget, we need to make sure we have a track record of what we're earning, of what we're saving, what we're spending, what we're giving, right? And what we're earning, what we're saving, what we're spending, what we're giving, and what we're investing in. And so simply put, all of those 5 categories that I just described can be compiled into 2 categories: income and expenses. All right, income lists out all of your earnings, and type that in the chat for me. So for anybody who wants to win with money and budget well, I need y'all to put in the chat exactly what a budget includes. And I just said a budget has 2 main components: your income and your expenses. So income is all of the money that's coming in, and your expenses is all the money that's going out. And again, if you want to be a winning athlete, if you want to be an Olympian when it comes to building wealth, you got to know your numbers. So put that in the chat for me. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. I want to see everybody put it in the chat. Everybody who's watching the playback, put that in the chat. Know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're losing. But Daryl, Jada, y'all are some winners, so I know you're not losing. Okay?
Nana, can I add something to
Yes,
that,
please,
which I'm
please.
not sure if you guys have already, talked about this topic, but there's a lot of different strategies to budgeting and saving money and building wealth. I think that the misconception about money is what it's actually designed for. And I think that that's it makes sense as to reason why people have a misconception about what money is actually designed for, because
Hmm,
we grow up a certain way, right? We grow up in certain households, right? That
right.
we watch our parents, right? Like we these are all learned behaviors, and our relationship with money is all different. I heard I'm quoting someone here, but very very huge investor and businesswoman. She once said that we all have an emotional attachment to money, which is true.
Yeah.
So when we talk about budgeting, not everybody's perfect with a budget, in reality, right? But to Nana's point, knowing your numbers is important, because when you talk about growing assets, growing wealth, and saving money and building, you have to start operating like a company. You have to learn how to grow and
Yes.
scale. And honestly, like the tax code in America, that actually doesn't favor people; it favors companies.
Wow.
So when
Talk
you
about
think
it.
about what money's designed for, like it's a tool, and literally money is designed to increase and to make more money. It's not just used to just spend, right? Obviously, like you want food and shelter, of course you want a certain lifestyle, but of course, like the purpose of money is it's a tool. It's a tool that's meant to grow and work for you. So just to hopefully kind of conceptualize, like, hey, like what is money actually like designed for?
Come
Um,
on.
so I just want to add.
That's
So
a
anyway,
word. That was
my last
great.
point is when Anna talks about income and expenses, it's not how much money you make, more so than it is how much money you actually keep, and
Say that
adjusting
again.
your lifestyle
Say that one more
accordingly.
time, brother. Say that one more time for the
It's
people in
not
the
just
back.
about yeah, it's not just about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you actually keep. And
How
budgeting
much
can
money
give
you
you a
actually
visualization
keep.
of like what's coming in, what's going out.
Talk about it. That's great. That's really great. So y'all heard that. Y'all heard that from the man who literally is in finance. And just give some context, please, just about like your work in finance and how all
Yeah,
those things
sure.
you said and all the companies you've worked with, like just how you actually use that on a day-to-day basis, like how what that looks like in real life, working with these
Yeah,
massive businesses.
yeah. So I started on out of undergrad in commercial banking at Wells Fargo. I was still when I was still, figuring out what I want to do. I had a really good opportunity to intern in commercial banking. Essentially, this was a part of the bank that works with companies that are considered middle market, or make generating revenues, annual revenues anywhere from maybe as small as $30 million a year to maybe 1 or 2 or 3 billion dollars a year, both public and private. So that was a really good opportunity that I knew nothing about before
Yeah,
I graduated college. Again, this was an opportunity I was pursuing, but not knowing what I wanted to do. It's still something that obviously came about, and I just went with it, and definitely a place of interest for sure. But I got a chance to 4 years into working at Wells Fargo, I got an opportunity to join Morgan Stanley in sales and trading, which was a very rare opportunity, and one of which was my chance to move to New York as well. So I got a chance to join Morgan Stanley in February of 2021. During COVID, I moved to New York. I was in the fixed income division for a couple of years, and
and can you
it was
explain what
most
that is, fixed income, because that's actually very important for them to know, because a lot of people
yeah.
make money off of, yeah,
Yeah, so
investment
so I
type.
worked in so I worked in the institutional securities group at Morgan Stanley, and fixed income is one of the major divisions and pillars at the firm. And essentially, when you think of institutional clients, you think of big asset managers, hedge funds,
Yes,
endowments, and really big investors that are not like normal people. Like they could be normal people. Institutional investors could qualify as being individuals under certain criteria, but most of these clients were true institutional clients and money managers, and really, really big firms that really wealthy people basically plant their money to make a return, make risky
right,
investments, make return off risky investments. And fixed income is one particular, almost like an asset class, if you will. Um, and a place to invest. And some of the pillars of fixed income include macro trading, commodity, which includes interest rates, commodities, foreign exchange, and then you have credit, and like such as corporate credit, high yield bonds, mortgage-backed securities, asset-backed securities, et cetera. And then there's some other lending products as well that Morgan Stanley sells to clients. But anyway, that's to give you a little context. Um, that's what I did at Morgan Stanley for the first 2 years here in New York. And I moved over to the equities division, which is basically stocks. I worked as account manager, worked with hedge funds, and now I'm moving over to a private banker role in wealth management, work with financial advisors and their clients, and selling lending products. So I've had a little bit of a variety of experience within finance, and working at both Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley, which are two reputable firms.
Yeah, I'm able to talk.
All right, perfect. Hey, Jada. So can you want to know, we have Martin's one of our new coaches, and I wanted to give you a chance just to introduce yourself, share, just your name, your age, your school, and what your major is, and what
Hi,
your student dream is.
okay. Sorry, I'm packing because I'm going back to New York right now. So that's why my camera's off. But hi, I'm Jada Leonard. I'm 20 years old. I attend Bryant University. I'm on the women's basketball team there. You said what are my goals?
Your name, what's your major?
Oh, my major, health science. I want to be a physician assistant.
Okay. And then what is your student dream?
My student dream?
Yeah. We talked about this last week during your coaching session.
Oh, like my regular dreams? What's a student dream?
Your student who has a dream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We talked about creating generational wealth. I said that I want to have my own homeless shelter, my own church, and my own clothing brand. So yeah. Those are my two.
Yes.
It's
And
pretty
then
dope.
have you ever, that is dope. Have you ever had a budget?
No. Yeah.
And
No.
do you know what a budget is?
Income and expenses.
Hey, right, all right. There you go. It's a track. It's really your game plan to hitting your money goals, right? You know, so Jade is is it Division One?
Mhm.
Yeah, Jade is a Division One basketball player.
What school?
Bryant University. I transferred there from St. Peter's University.
Where's Bryant University?
Rhode Island.
Okay,
Yeah. So Jada knows her stuff.
that's
And
awesome.
and so the same ways your coach, right, really comes in with a plan, right, for you all to win. Your budget is your plan to win with whatever money goals that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a huge thing for you all to know and be aware of. Yeah, just what are your money goals and being able to line up a goal, then let me make sure I know exactly what's coming in every month and what's going out every month,
Yeah.
right? And making sure it aligns with those goals that you have. You feel?
You know,
Go ahead.
one thing. Oh yeah, sorry, I don't mean to take that away from you, Nana.
We're a team, baby.
But yeah, just to reiterate, you know, how to conceptualize what money's used for, designed for, right? Like as I mentioned earlier, like a lot of times as we grow up watching people that aren't actually financially literate, and at least from the community I come from, in the hood in Chicago, right? It's when we think of money, right? We think of like a job, or we think of just survival. And so when you break out of that mindset and you start to educate yourself, by reading, by having conversations like this, by actually like, following, good examples, right? You see that people actually operate differently when they actually are knowledgeable about what money's designed for, and obviously a budget helps you conceptualize where you're at, and obviously like being on track to your goals. And part of what helps you stick to that budget is your connection to whatever that goal is. So if you really want to start a clothing line, right, you'll probably start to look at what do I need to actually do to invest in the clothing line?
Yeah.
Who are the types of people I need to be around? How much money do I need? How much do vendors cost for certain material? How much does this machine cost? And then you'll start to care a lot about how much you actually save.
Yeah. No, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. All right, we got Gwen. Gwen is in the building. It's so great to see you, Gwen. We were just taking a minute to introduce ourselves, and I'd love to hear to have you introduce yourself, Gwen. If you can just briefly share your name, where you're from, what school you go to, what your major is, and what is your student dream? When you think about, man, here's where I want to be financially, professionally in the next 5-10 years, you can share that. And feel free to type it in the chat, or if you can come off mute and do so, that'd be fantastic. She disappeared. That's okay. All right, y'all. So we'll keep going because we have a 15 minutes. But here we talked about budgeting, what it is, right? In order to start, right, you need to know what your student dream is, right? That's where the vision comes in. Vision is where you want to be in the future. Okay. And then once you have that vision, you want to start setting out your goals. And that's what we did last week when we were going over your earnings goals, your savings goals, your investing goals, your spending goals, and your giving goals, right? So now that you have your goals, the next step is to create a budget, because when you create your budget, you best believe that budget needs to line up with your goals. Okay. And so I'm going to give you guys an example of a budget. So I'm going to show you this so we know where to start. And so let's to just be able to get clear again. Essentially, you always want to have those goals around earnings, savings, investing, um, spending, and giving. And so I'd love to just go around the room and hear, when you think about August, August 2024, right? By the end of next month, August 2024, talk to me about what your money goals are. Earning, saving, investing, spending, and giving. And feel free to take a minute to think about it and then type it in the chat. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Do you mean like the amount that we want to be earning, spending, saving, giving, and investing? Like the goal?
Yes. Specific numbers by August 31st, 2024. So I'll give y'all 2 more minutes to just think about that, write it down, and we'll resume. I'll start calling on y'all at about 1:03. Oh, Gwen. Hey, Gwen.
Time. It seems like a younger crowd, not for someone who's middle-aged, career transitioning. So I'm not sure if this is the.
Hey, you
mean,
can join the party. You can join the party. Everybody
Absolutely.
needs. Yeah. No, we're a student at any age. So we do target college students, but absolutely, we welcome you to this space.
Absolutely. Please.
Yeah. So
When
I'd
you're
love
mid-
to
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I'm just frustrated with career transition every time because of automation or technology. And when I go through all these workforce investment training programs, they run out of money halfway through the program.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
yeah, and this cybersecurity training, we went to the community college, and a lot of us had baccalaureate degrees in computer science, and we still have to do free internship, apprenticeship, labor. And it's just like
That's disrespectful. Yeah. Like I'm not a slave. So
I did that when I was young in my 20s, but now I'm middle age in my 50s, in 40s, and
yeah.
every time career transition is so difficult. I don't know. I'm not sure
Mm.
what is, and then your time you had to spend working for free internship apprenticeship because employers said you don't have the work experience.
Man.
I'm in
Mm.
Silicon Valley, California, so I don't know if it's the competitiveness of the job market and the
Mm-hmm.
economic recession here.
Yeah. I'll let Martin speak to that because he understands that landscape. So go ahead, Martin.
Well, and it's Gwen, right?
Yes.
How you doing, Gwen? My name is Martin Hunter. Nice to meet you. I just a little context about myself and my background. Originally from Chicago, currently living in New York, working at Morgan Stanley. I've had about 8 years of experience in finance, not serving individuals, but more so corporations and big money managers and asset managers. But you know, I am, probably closer and familiar with like, just how the landscape and I obviously have interest in the markets and economy and things like that too. So more so just general knowledge but to your point though, it is a very, very competitive landscape right now. If you look at like, if you take a step back and just think about, just the macro, view and the sentiment and in the overall economy. Well, it really starts with the federal government and the fact that the federal government is currently tasked at the moment to slowing a very, very high and growing economy down over the last couple of years since COVID-19, and obviously the pump of stimulus that the government really basically just gave to the public, which obviously grew spending and grew wages, and the economy just really grew at a much faster pace over the last couple of years. And now, we're at a place where the federal government is intentionally trying to shrink the economy. So when you look at the data that the federal government actually utilizes, and particularly like unemployment, PCE, CPI, things like that, unemployment, while it's unemployment and job growth are moving in different directions, right? For obvious reasons, but right now I would say it is a very, very competitive time in this market, and the economy is still balancing. So people aren't necessarily leaving their jobs right now. Right. So this is a time where people like where firms aren't necessarily hiring in the masses like they did a couple of years ago when we saw all this growth in the economy. But I would say that companies are still hiring, but maybe just not at the fastest pace as we've seen in recent years. So in reality, what you're experiencing is what a lot of people are actually experiencing in the markets. And I would say this is definitely a difficult time. So I wouldn't necessarily take it personal, but in reality, this is a very competitive time in the market.
Yeah, and also just to add to that, it's networking is a big thing, right? It's so important to build that skill of building those professional relationships, because it is going to help you get over 99% of the roadblocks that you're experiencing. And so that's definitely something that we teach here at Student Dream, right? Just how do you actually, how do you actually network?
I think there's something going on with your audio, Nana.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So really thinking about how can you network in a way that is going to get you over those common obstacles that exist. And networking is definitely something we teach our participants, right? Like how to do, because again, I many of the jobs that I've gotten have been just through relationships, even though I had to go through the training. And also you may have to look at your resume. There's probably some other coaching stuff, but you, Gwen, I'm sure, right? You said you're in your 50s. So that means you have an incredible amount of skill, an incredible amount of experience that someone should value. And if they're smart enough, they will value it and will pay you for. It's just about knowing how to present yourself in the best way that will make it easier for folks to see that value and see those skills. So we can definitely find some time to talk more about that.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. And just to keep cognizant of time, go ahead, Martin, but if you can be quick, that'd be great, just because I want to get through the next few minutes. All right.
Just to add real quick, Gwen, but to Nena's point, networking is so key, especially in this economy, because I can guarantee you that the folks that are getting hired are more than likely the folks that have the network, or maybe have known this person or that person, or gotten that big referral and things like that. So definitely relevant in this economic environment.
Yeah. Thanks for that. All right, y'all. So here is what the budget looks like. So I'm going to start with an example, just so you all can get a taste of what it looks like to create a budget. And I'm going to I'll give an example, and then feel free to chime in, Martin, where you see fit. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, give me 1 second. I want to make this easy for us to navigate. All right, so this is a sample budget that I put together for myself. There's apps that you can use, but I just wanted us to see how this works on paper. Okay, so take a peek, right? We're in July. We start with, you want to have income. So can someone, Daryl, can you tell me what does it say here?
I don't see the number. I just
You don't see this, you don't see me sharing my screen?
Your picture is covering it.
yeah, your picture's covering.
Oh, okay. Let me change it. Thank you for saying that. All right, I'm gonna go like this. All right. So y'all see it? What does this say right here?
Total income, income one.
All right. Income 2, income 3, because some of us, especially anyone here who's gonna be financially healthy, you're gonna have multiple income streams. And so you want to know, where's my money coming from? So for me, for example, I have a job at Wall Street Bound. That's a company that I work for. Okay. Right. And let's say I make 10,000 a month there. Okay. But then I also have a job here at Student Dream. Okay. And I'm also, right, making 10,000 a month. And then I've coached basketball, right? So I'm a b-ball coach. I actually have a lot of jobs, which is kind of funny. Okay. And so, and that gives me
I
money
need to
as
be like
well.
you.
Right. So let's just, and I'm somewhat making up these numbers, but let's just say it's not basketball season, but when it actually, yeah, let me actually do this for real. So I'm not making any money from that, but when it comes to basketball season in September, right, that's like $1,500 a month in September, always during basketball season. Okay, so you want to make sure every month you know what's coming in. And so once I know what's coming in, I can easily see, if I were to add this up, I'm making 20,000 a month. And so you want to know, what are those numbers for you? And then you want to take that and you want to go to and see your expenses. And remember, we talked about this last session. You want to always, right? I always pay God first, right? Because it's his money. And so that's a really important part. I know Jada and Daryl, you're both Christians. And so I love that you all tithe and give. And then after that, but again, we're open, right? I know that not everybody believes the same way I do. And so there's also a savings, right? Another way that I call, another word for savings. Jada, can you read it for me? What's my other word for savings? Jada, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's my other? Yeah.
Pay yourself first.
All right. And do you remember the percentage we talked about for paying yourself first?
No.
Okay, at minimum, right? At minimum, we want to be saving 10% of what we're making every month. All right. So based on these numbers, if I'm making $20,000 every month, how much should I be saving? Hello, hello. So if I'm making 10%, if I'm making $20,000, 10%, right? You see me doing the math here. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000.
2,000.
So at every time you want to be saving 10%. Okay. And then we go to the next part, investments. Again, at least you want to be saving at least 10%, but the higher, the better. So every single month you want to be investing at least 10% of your total income. Okay. And so again, that means I'll be saving 2,000. Again, I'll be investing 2,000. And then if there's any debt I want to pay off, I want to make sure I'm paying that off. If there's taxes, then I'm paying those off. I got my housing costs, internet, transportation, groceries, eating out, phone, insurance, gym, home goods. So these are all the things that should be included in your budget. Okay. And so I want to just ask, we'll start with Jada. Jada, what are your income streams for the month of July? What money is coming into your pocket and from where?
Start from the top.
Um, well, I don't have a job, so I mean, we get paid from like school, I guess you could say. Um, okay, well, first I'll just start with the easy one. So I get an allowance from my grandfather. Um,
Okay, and how much is that?
he gives me $200 like every week.
So how much is that each month?
You said what?
So how much is that each month?
800.
All right. Boom, I put it down. You see me writing it down?
Yes.
All right,
And
what
then
else?
my mom, she gives me like 200 from her check a month.
Every month?
Yeah.
All right, so then we got mom. Okay,
And then um I'm trying to think. Well, basketball we get money, but like I just transferred, so it's like kind of like up in the air. But I told you that I'm supposed to be getting $1,000 from basketball too. So
when are you gonna get it?
this
Is it
month,
July?
yeah, actually, we're getting it at the end of the month.
Okay, how much is it?
1,000 for passing our classes.
All right, boom.
Yeah, and
So how much? So we got 2,000. All right, and then talk me through your expenses. So we got you're saving at least 200. Again, you can save more than that, but if
yeah.
you're doing the 10% rule, saving at least 200, investing at least 200. Is there any debt you need to pay off?
No, I actually paid off my credit card, so I'm good.
Yes. Any taxes you owe?
No,
No. Any housing costs?
nope.
All right, must be nice. Any internet? You pay for
No,
internet? Transportation?
no, I don't pay for that either.
Groceries?
I eat out a lot. I don't pay for groceries.
You never buy groceries.
No, my mom buys the groceries.
All right, eating out?
Yeah, I would say probably like $100.
Okay, so here's what I want you all to do. This is your homework assignment, and send this to me um by Friday. I want you to look at your bank statement from the last 3 months, right? If you want to really get a good idea of whether or not you're budgeting well, or whether or not your spending is lining up with what your student dream is and what your money goals are, you got to look at your bank statements and see what you're actually spending money on. Okay, and then I want you to go through and with this list that I give you, you see all these different expense options: savings, investments, debt, taxes, housing. I want you to look at from April, May, and June to fill out what those numbers were. So in April, how much did you save, invest? Debt did you pay off? Housing did you pay for? Do the same for May, do the same for June. Okay? And that's going to give us a good idea of whether or not you're within your means. And so just to finish this off, Jada, did you pay anything for your phone?
Yeah, I pay for storage, but it's like $3. Oh, also too, I have like I started watching Love Island, so I have a subscription, a $3 subscription with them too.
Okay. So your
Yeah.
phone you said was $3?
Yeah, I pay for storage. So yeah, $3 and then another
Okay.
three.
So
Oh, and also
$3 for your
too,
phone and $3 for Love Island.
really quickly, I meant to say this before. Um, Martin said that he worked at Morgan Stanley, right?
Yeah.
So does my godfather.
Okay. Who's
Yeah,
your
like actually.
godfather?
His name is Calvin Roach. He's been working there for a minute.
All right. You got
What's
to
his name?
introduce us.
Yeah,
Calvin Roach.
Calvin who? How do you spell his last name?
Roach. I think it's Junior too. Yeah, Calvin Roach Jr.
All right. So you
Okay.
said
I, I
three.
don't I don't know him personally, but I'll reach out.
Yes.
Ready? Okay. So we have $5 for your subscription. Oh, say yours? Sorry. Yeah. And then what? And then okay. And then I'll go. Okay, cool. Thanks. Oh, girl. Sorry. I'm with my friend. And yeah. Anyways. All right. So insurance. Do you pay for any insurance?
No.
All right. Do you pay for any gym memberships?
No.
No. Okay. Do you pay for home goods? Any decorating your home, pots, pans?
Um, no. I mean, when I move into my dorm, I don't think I'll be paying for that. So no, probably not.
All right, you got to know your numbers. I'm gonna take you at your word for now, but remember, you got to know these numbers. So, okay. Um, giving. How much do you plan to give in July?
Um,
Let's go,
1,000.
let's go, let's go, let's go. You said
150.
1,000?
No, 150. No, I'm saying if I'm trying to do like 10% and then plus like a little bit more. So yeah.
Okay. So what's the number?
150.
150. All right. You said 150. And then fun. What about for fun?
Um, I don't think I'm gonna be having any fun. I had my fun already. I have to go back to workout, so no,
Okay. You're not going to spend any money going out, no movies, no nothing.
not for July. August probably.
Okay.
July. Yeah.
Okay. Education, anything like any subscriptions to like news articles or anything of
That's
that
all
sort?
paid. No, they pay for that.
Okay. All right. 0. Okay. Business. So this is where you can start. If you have business expenses, if you're starting a business, saving for a business, you can put all that there.
No, not yet. I'll probably do.
Clothing,
Do I put that amount I already spent?
July. July hasn't happened yet, so no. You put down how much you're planning to spend. Remember, this is your game plan.
We're in July.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we are. We are. I'm thinking it's August. Yeah, so you put down how much you ideally with these you want to put down. So I should have put this for June, but it's okay. You want to put down how much you plan to spend,
Oh,
right? How
okay.
much you because it's you making a plan. But
Yeah.
so to talk to me about how much you plan to spend on clothing in July.
How much do I want? Probably like 100, and then everything else
Okay.
on pay for.
And then any fees?
No.
All right. So once we do that, we're going to take our total expenses and add them up. Because remember, we want to know our numbers. We got to know our numbers. That's the big thing. We got to know if we don't know our numbers, we will not build wealth. But if we know our numbers, we'll get closer to our goal. So you see you got total expenses at 758. And then our total income is, sorry, we already have our total income. So now we want to get our profit to know how well we're actually doing. We're going to subtract the total expenses from the total income. And look, you got $1,242, Jada. So
I'm locked in.
yeah, so you want to ask yourself, where do you want to put that money? We were talking about investing. So you
Yeah.
have a lot more to put towards investing. You have a lot more to put towards savings.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I'll save 600 and I go put the rest towards investing.
All right, so you'll save 600 more, so a total of 800.
Yeah.
All right, and then you'll put a total of 842 towards investing. Look at that. Look at that, girl. Boom. And so just for time's sake, guys, this was a super fast run through. And I'll let Martin, I'll let you speak in just a second. But this was a super fast run through, right? This is just an example of what it takes to make a plan for your money. You want to have this and then do it for all the way through the end of the year. If Jada ends up investing $842 for the rest of the year, guess how much money she's going to have by the end of the year? Look at this. That means she's going to have invested $5,000 by the end of the year. That's a big deal, sis.
Yeah, that's tough.
If you go on to save $800 for the rest of the year, you'll have in your savings account for your house, to start your clothing business, you'll have nearly $5,000. All right. So that's how we make a game plan. And you want to go through every time and check back to see does my game plan align with the game that I actually want to win? Right? Does my game plan actually align with the game I want to win? And that game you want to win is financial health. That game you want to win is unique to each and every one of you because you all have different financial goals. But at the end of the day, we got to have a budget. So we have a game plan to win the money game and to get to your student dream. Okay. And so go ahead, Martin. And we have about 1 minute left because I got to wrap up for another meeting at 1:30.
Oh no, can you hear me and see me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just to echo what Nana's saying here, I think it's so crucial and so important, to have a game plan, to really invest in yourself and having a budget and just being able to know like where your money's coming from and where it's going is definitely important. And without that, I wouldn't be a landlord today. So if you really care, if you really want it, then you'll make some adjustments to make the right decisions, like creating a budget to help you actually take real action in that direction. Because money should
Let's
always
go.
be working for you.
Always, always. And so y'all, that is it for today's Investors Club. And, I want to hear from y'all. Drop it in the chat. What's one thing you learned and one thing you're going to apply from today? What's one thing you learned and one thing you're going to apply from today? Drop it in the chat. And as you're doing that, just want to share, like, for anybody who wants to win with money, right? For anybody who's struggling with money, either whether that's with your job, your budgeting, your savings, your investing, your networking skills, right? Student Dream is here to help you, right? Myself, Martin, we know what it's like to win with money, and we are here to coach you in that process. So if you are ready to get help, we have 3 ways that we can help you. Number 1 is through our coaching calls. So we offer coaching calls to you all, 45-minute coaching calls to talk about anything around help or assistance that you need, whether that's you figure out your networking, your career plan, your budgeting. We can offer those individually. Secondly, we have our Money Matters Boot Camp, right? This is our online boot camp that covers all these fundamentals of investing and managing money, building great credit, how to create your financial plan, how to create your budget. It's literally teaching you everything that you should have learned in high school and college about money so that you can really feel confident in managing your money. And then we have the Student Dream Investors Club Premium, right? And so the Student Dream Investors Club Premium, this is where we actually get to sit down with you. Not only do you get access to Money Matters Bootcamp, but you get access to monthly group coaching calls. We can give you access to the different people in our network through introductions, connections. We have corporate events that we go to. On July 30th, we're going to be going to an investment firm to hear how they operate. You get these access to more coaching calls as well. And it's all of this. I think the Money Matters Bootcamp is maybe $150, and the Investors Program is $200. And it's like, how much that compared to how much wealth you're going to build? It's nothing, right? So definitely take this offer while it's this cheap, because I don't think I'm going to keep it at this price forever. But I definitely encourage you all to sign up for that as soon as you can. You can just go to our website, studentdream.org, for more info, and I'll make sure that we also follow up in the chat and via email for anybody who's interested. But y'all, that is what we're doing. And you have myself here as a coach. You got Martin, if you're interested in real estate investing, he can help break it down for you. We also teach you how to invest in the stock market and just be financially free, healthy, relaxed. All right, y'all. But that is it for this week's Student Investors Club. We got another Investors Club next week. We're going to do part 2 of budgeting because there's a lot to cover here. So I hope to see y'all next week. And yeah, sign up, y'all. time is money for real. So we will see you all soon and have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Bye. Be in touch.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.